today we're going to look at the castle guards. What the castle guards are, I can give you the document if you want. It's a revelation that the Lord gave Mitt Jeff. So it's not a revelation He gave me directly, but it's a revelation that will dramatically should help you understand, number one, yourself. Number two, it will help you to understand people. Now, how important is that? Critically important. Because I wasn't really ever a people person. I was more like a warrior and a person on a mission, but it was like people wasn't really a major issue. I wasn't kind of your HR manager person. More marketing, sales, and eventually the Lord had to pull me back and say, okay, you need to understand people, you need to love people, and all this. So that was years ago, and so He's still training me about people, to understand people. If you don't understand people, you don't know what makes them tick, you're going to have a problem with people. We all have problems with people. But the number one problem we have is with me. Well, you. You have a problem with yourself, okay? So my biggest problem is not people, it's me. But I'm a people. I'm a person. So let's explain how this works, and I'll briefly go through the vision that he had. It's quite a long vision that he had, but I'll just give you some of the highlights of the vision and explain how it works. But what he saw was, the Lord's basically, I think the Lord was asking, I might like misquote a few things, so forgive me if I don't quote him exactly, but you can go and I can send you the book. It's still being edited. I'll send you the draft that I've got so far. And so what he saw in this process, he saw, the Lord was saying to him, do you want to see how I see you? Kind of something like that. Would you like to know how the Lord sees you? So he took him into a vision. And now, I must warn you, I'm not a good artist. So maybe we have Sue here. We should be outsourcing it here. Can you come draw?
Okay.
You're going to do it way better than me, and very rough. So anything you do is going to be better than
Okay,
mine.
John.
All I want to ask you to draw is a little castle with a drawbridge. It's kind of a 3D little castle there. Ding, 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 ding.
I'm not good with stuff out my head.
Is it?
Yeah.
Better than
I
mine.
think it'll,
Well,
the Kim is
Okay.
better.
Yes, I can put Kim on the spot.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Do you want to?
Sue?
Okay.
Sue.
Okay.
Bless her, look. Okay, you want
A little castle.
Just a little castle.
Okay.
Little bit, yeah. Here we go. Little castle. That's a little castle. Okay, no, that's a nut. Geez, look at the detail you're going into. Yeah, no, fantastic. You're way better than mine already. When you've got that for. And a door. Yes, excellent. Okay, you can have a seat here, just in case I need you again. Alright, so that's the castle. And this castle, the Lord says, this is your life.
I'll come.
This castle's your life, by the way. So, and it had a little drawbridge, a moat, and everything. Obviously, it basically had 4 walls. But what was interesting, okay, back where you're going to. I need you to draw.
Octagon.
I want you to draw an old soldier with armor. But don't get too detailed. Just a chap standing there with a sword or something. Just kind of a, what do you call them? A knight. Just a bit of a knight.
With a sword.
Yeah, with a sword and everything. All right. So what happens? He saw this castle, and the Lord says, "This is your life." And he saw, and this castle wasn't very big. It was about 8 foot by 8 foot. I mean, a bit bigger than this desk, I suppose. Square castle. And every sign had a door, okay? And it had this and they had, so this little castle had 8 of these chaps. Well done with it, the drawing. Looking good, don't worry. Looking good. No, I would have drawn something horrendous on it. So
I think it is eyes.
no, don't worry. No, you details not.
See? It's lovely.
No, lovely. That's it. Perfect. See, you're going to get drawn
Well,
in. Oh, do you want pass her the notepad? She needs a note. So, okay, so what happens now is that, okay, so you've got a castle, and you've got, I need a pen here, and then you've got 8 of these chaps around that little castle. So you must know there's something very valuable inside there. This is your life. 8 guards, and there's 4 doors. This is your life. Not a big castle. It's got little flags and whatever, and you decorate it nicely. And this is your life as you see it. And inside, you'll see my drawings now, is a little, no, not so little, yeah, but anyway, that's a box. Okay. She could have done a better job. Okay. But anyway, inside here is a treasure chest. Okay. Now the treasure chest is inside, and basically I'm just giving you a shortcut here. The 8 guards are protecting the treasure that's in your castle. So that's the first kind of vision he saw. And then he started asking the Lord questions about this castle. And the Lord started to kind of dismantle this castle, which is your life. And this is how all people work, by the way. So it's not just for you. It's not just for me. It's for everyone. Once you understand this, you'll understand what the problem is that every human being has. First of all, that the gods, okay, are guarding everything inside you, and this is the treasure inside you. So we need to know what is the treasure that you are protecting with your life. You know, what are the walls? And we've got to know who's that? Because he works for you, by the way. You've got 8 of them working for you. So those guards are working for you day and night without a rest. Okay. Now, what happens is these castle guards are protecting this over here, and they are trained by you from the time you're little to resist anything and anyone that does not agree with you. So if something does not agree with you, that's called your belief system, by the way. These castle guards are hired by you to protect your belief system, which is really in the box. But there's one word that goes over this box, I'll tell you just now. And I just want to talk to the castle guards. So, anytime anyone comes to you with a belief that is contrary to what you believe, your castle guard steps out and blocks them. Verbally or subconsciously or in a thought. You just say, no, I don't agree. Based on your belief system. What you believe is right. What you believe is right. And this box, the treasure in your box, this treasure box that you're protecting your whole life, and you're willing to die for this, by the way, is called self-righteousness. Okay, self-righteousness is the treasure that you will protect with your life. It's the most important thing in your life. You want to be, and you will, every war is fought over this. What I believe is right, I will die for. And people die every day, believing that it's okay to have like 7 Cokes a day. They just drink Coke. And they believe it's right. And they smoke themselves to death. They believe it's right. They'll smoke themselves to death. They'll drink themselves to death. They'll have alcohol. And they'll believe it's right. You got people like ISIS killing Christians, innocent people, on a beach. And they believe what they're doing is 100% correct. And then you're watching this, and you say they're 100% wrong. So who is right? And now that's where we get arguments, we get strife, divorces, wars, everything you see on the earth is coming out of this little castle. Everyone's got one. The problem with this castle is it's haunted. Because these gods, we forgot to name them. They are gods of pride. So can you imagine that you've employed gods of pride to protect you? How's that going to work out with God and you? You know what God does with a proud person? What does he do? What does God do with a proud person?
You resist them.
He resists them. He says, I resist the proud. Yes, and then he will humble you too. You break him. Break what? Break him. Until you realize you've got to get rid of these dudes. Because you've got them permanently employed. Arguing with everyone. In your mind, in your heart, and in your mouth. And sometimes physically you will fight. Because somebody disagrees with something and you'll feel, it'll escalate very quickly into a physical fight and you're discussing something unimportant. But why are you going to fight about it? Why will you die over it? Okay, for instance, you're driving down the road, someone cuts you off, and you say that's wrong, your castle guard stands up. Alright, now you defend yourself. The guy stops, he gets out, you get out, you pull out a gun and you kill him. That's called road rage. That happens, right? What was that about? I was right. He was wrong. And I had to show him. Now I feel justified. I feel justified. Because self-righteousness is about justification. It's called, another word, you'll see all these words coming. The preface here is always self. And then this is now self-justification. These two things will kill you and take you to hell. Self-righteousness, self-justification, and pride. Those three things are the worst enemies of your life that you are friends with. But you've never been taught this, and you don't know this. I didn't know this. This is a revelation. It's like, whoa, talking about getting stripped down. So what happens is every time somebody comes to you with something that is contrary to your belief system, pride will stop that revelation, that'll stop that word, it'll stop a correction, and that God of pride will stand up and will resist the person, the message, whatever. Switch off the TV, it'll switch off the radio, you'll say, I don't agree. Self-righteousness. No, because I'm right, I know. And then you will even quote a verse in the Bible. No, the Bible says this. But you don't realize that you're standing on the word of God in pride. And God says, it's like this. It's like, okay, well, standing on the word of God in pride is just going to get you to fall. You've got to have to stand on the word of God in humility, not in pride, saying, I'm right, they're wrong. They've got a false doctrine. And so you get people on the internet writing emails, setting up websites to criticize other Christians all the time. They name them and they list their faults. That's pride. Okay. And they think they're doing God a favor. They're Pharisees. A Pharisee is a person that points out everyone's mistakes except their own. With scripture. We got them in the church. They're all over the place. I used to be qualified. I know how to do the Pharisee thing. It takes one to know one. So if there's a Pharisee around, I can recognize it. So I have had to get delivered from being a Pharisee because I knew the word. So I used to take that word and use it to judge other people because I was full of self-righteousness, self-justification, and I had these gods of pride, well trained. Between me and the devil, I had been trained up how to build walls around my life and to protect my treasure, which is me being right. So the thing you will fight for and argue with people over is being right. Number one, whenever you have an argument, it's because treasure. Gods. What are they doing? Fighting. Who are they fighting? The other person's God. So if I want to argue with Neil, he's only, it takes two to argue, right? It's very difficult to argue when the person keeps quiet. That's what Jesus said to another chief. So now, I think Neil's wrong. So I will say, Neil, that's wrong. Then he'll say, no, that's right. So now our guards, what do? They're going to have a full fight. That's an argument. Except if he, if he hasn't got a guard, then he will listen. If I don't have a God, we can never argue. You can never argue with Jesus. He's not arguing. He doesn't have self-righteousness. You can never argue with God. You can never. Because he cannot partake in argument. Because he doesn't have that. The reason you argue is because of self-justification and self-righteousness. And so so this castle, and it gets much more detailed. He's talking about, so watch what happens is this is in your heart, this is in your mind, this castle. Is that now because now watch this. You've got a castle, this is your whole life is in this castle. All your thoughts, your family, everything, you protect them with this thing. You built this thing, and you were trained by Satan to do this, by the way. And you've done it very faithfully. Now you've got gods of pride. Now when Satan comes to you, who is the master of pride, how easy is it for him to enter your house? When the combination lock is spelled Pride, and you think you're going to keep the devil out with pride. It's like, hello, these are mine, this is mine, that's mine, you are mine. That's what Satan says. So you can resist him all your life. And he's laughing at you. He says, you resisting me? I'm inside you. You resist me? You're full of pride. You're full of self-righteousness. You're full of self-justification. So what happens is demons can travel in and out of you at will. At will. Demons. I'm not talking possession. I'm talking oppression. Now they say possession is 9/10 of the law. So the demons understand that too. So they want to possess you. That's when you put a guy and chain him up somewhere. That's a possessed person. Okay. We are oppressed by darkness because we have actually got these birds, demons, flying in and out of us at will, and they can get in because of your pride. Do you understand? We've got a problem here. Now this, I've given you a very short version. This is now what I've just told you. You've got to read like 100 pages to get all this. That's how detailed this thing is. It is so frighteningly true. You see yourself there. It's like you've got to read this book on your knees and repent and say, Lord, help me. But it's also going to get you to a place and say, Lord, I need help. Hopefully you're getting there at some stage now. See that sword you saw? Did you know this? I never knew this. I didn't know why I was a champion arguer. You can actually pride yourself that you can argue well. You're actually proud of it because your God's a pride. So what happens now is that you can start to understand yourself, what makes you tick. That's what makes you tick. That's why Jesus had to die and save us. From what? From this. Our own little world. We've created our own little world, and everyone creates the same world, built on the same foundations and the same treasure, self-righteousness. I am right, you are wrong, therefore you better listen. Well, I'm going to sort you out like ISIS. They think they're going to sort out the whole world, and everyone must believe like that, and they believe they're right. But they're completely wrong, because they are champions in this. Every religion is a champion at this, including Christianity. Then we got to come out of our religion of Christianity into a relationship with Jesus, because Christianity, by definition, is not a religion. Christianity is knowing God. That's not a religion. A religion is defined by, you got your rules, you got to obey your rules, and that's how you go, and everyone that doesn't obey your rules is wrong. And that would give you your high horse to stand on and say, look at that sinner. I'm holier than them because I tithe. Mint, dill, and cumin. And I tithe, and that guy doesn't tithe. He's not tithing. I'm right, and he's wrong. And that guy is now looking at pornography. He's evil. You know, my looking at food porn isn't wrong. I'm allowed to look at food all day. and think of food the whole day. And eat myself to oblivion. But that's holy. But the guy looks at pornography, he's unholy. You see how we work? We've got different standards. So we can be a glutton. We think gluttony is not a sin. But someone's living in adultery. Scandal. And we do that with smoking, and we do all kinds of... You've got your standards. When you see someone break your standard, you look... It's like... unholy.
Like sugar.
Like ISIS. I mean, that's kind of breaking... Sugar. No, that's like ISIS. They're kind of breaking all our standards. And we look at them with disdain. Not realizing we're the same. Because if we hate our brother, we're murderers anyway. So we would say, look, we're better than ISIS, eh? God says that. No, not really. He says, how can you say that you love God you haven't seen, and you don't love your brother that you have seen? He says you're a liar. Okay, so now we're liars and murderers as Christians. Because we don't love our brothers. We pretend we do. Pretend. And we're murderers. Oh yes, and of course he says friendship with the world, watching food porn all day, is enmity with God. Oh, so we're now an enemy of God, and he says you're an adulterer as well. Oh, so friendship with the world means you're an adulterer. So we're just using the sword where we don't normally use it. Stir the pot a bit. It's like, oh, you know. You understand? To the place. Remember the last time I was here? It took me a while to get back again. But it was quite heavy just to understand how to destroy relationships and how to build relationships. We just looked at those things like, oh my goodness, where do we go here? It's good to realize how useless you are. It's always very good. Not to condemn you, but to realize, I need Jesus. I really need Jesus. And now the next step is, help me Jesus. Humble myself. Help me Jesus to get this sorted. Okay. So we get to, so he shows you that you are useless, not to condemn you, not to make you feel bad, but to say, show us that we need him. We really need him. Because a proud person doesn't really think they need God. That's why they don't pray. They're Christians. They don't really study the Bible or read the Bible. But they preach. And you've got thousands of these pastors all over that don't pray and they preach. So here you go. So the question is now, what is the solution for this whole bunch of baloney? Do you think the Lord wants to come and do a revamp here? Number one, do you think he wants to decorate your castle? Yeah. You want to decorate it? What do you think Jesus wants to do with this? Peter? I mean, I've now explained very lightly what the dilemma is here. You've got a castle you've built full of demons. You've got gods outside. What do you think Jesus wants to do with this? Just take a guess. Get rid of the pride. Now, do you think he wants to redecorate? He wants to do a little bit of renovation? Renovate. Okay, renovate it. What do you think he wants to do here?
Take down the castle.
Destroy.
He wants to destroy it. You don't renovate this thing. This is a haunted house. It's a haunted castle. Just to get that straight. Jesus wants to demolish the castle and demolish the gods. And then what he wants to do is he wants to build his house there and he wants to live in it. And he wants to be where the self-justification, self-right, he wants to be in the middle. And he needs to become your treasure. So when Jesus is your treasure, you won't get into arguments. You know why? Because whatever you value the most is what you stick with. So in other words, I've got to choose argue or Jesus. Argue or Jesus. Self-righteousness or Jesus. So when Jesus becomes your treasure, you'll stick with him. You can't argue now. The moment you think that something's more important than Jesus, you drop Jesus. And you do that. We do that all the time. That's, by the way, called idolatry. Idolatry. Worshipping anything else than Jesus is idolatry. And the number one idol in your life is you. I. That's why it starts with I. I. Dom. And Jesus doesn't want to improve you, by the way. He wants to kill you. Remember the old dog story? There is no way that you're going to have a self-improvement program here. It's the final solution. It's the only solution. Your whole self, there's one word over this thing, it's self, has to die. He doesn't want to improve self. You know, he's got the self-improvement programs. It's New Age. And it's basically trying to do everything without God. And people write books on it and make a lot of money on this thing. Self-improvement. And God came to kill self. That's what the cross is about. The cross is an affront to this whole thing. And the Lord says, you have been crucified with me. Galatians 2:20. Galatians 2:20 deals with this entire thing. He says, you have been crucified with me on the cross. Yourself has been crucified. Do you believe it? No. I can see that. If you believe it, you'll start to live differently. You'll say, Lord, I've been crucified. What? Myself has been crucified on the cross. I died with Christ. It is no longer I who live. So what? You need to pray. Say, Lord, come and demolish the castle. Huh. You pray that prayer, and then the fun is going to start.
Then it's painful.
It's awesome. It is awesome because you're going to be confronted now with all these things, all these demons that you've given habitation to.
I prayed that last year and I got so ill after that where it was quite scary.
Yeah.
I was asked God, how do you see me? You change me. Yeah. It's not easy.
No.
You pray that prayer.
But it's the only way out is to say, Lord, bring the sword. See, the sword that you saw is the sword that's got to go into your heart. And it's a double-edged sword. So when it comes in, it kills the flesh and gives life to your spirit. So it's not nearly killing all of you. It's killing the old you, the old dog. So he comes to kill this, what is called in the Bible the flesh. That's the self. This self has to die, okay? The born again spirit, when he puts his sword in you, he gives you life into your spirit. He gives you life. But you've got to let go of that old self. That self that protects itself, justifies itself, and prides itself, and protects itself. Why don't you trust God? Do you know why? You don't trust God, and we don't trust God fully. It's because we don't believe He can do the job. What we believe is we can protect ourselves. And we are looking after ourselves. So we don't trust God, and when we see we can't protect ourselves and we can't pay our bills, we start to worry, and this whole castle starts to shake. And God says, trust me. And self-justification, self-righteousness says no. Pride says no, I can't trust God because He won't come through for me. I've got to work harder. I've got to come up with a plan. I've got to get out of this thing. Really? You're going to get out of this thing. You've got the enemy right inside your house. You're not going to get out of that thing. God wants to come and demolish it. He wants to demolish yourself. He wants to take that pride and chuck it out and put it back in hell. Because pride takes you to hell. So that's unfortunately the situation we're in. And in most churches you don't get told the truth. That's the truth. The truth is you have to recognize you die on the cross. The cross is the truth. So we take the cross out of the church, and now we talk about self-improvement on Sundays. How are you going to become rich? It's all about money. And how are you going to prosper? And if we can get the service done in 45 minutes, we're happy. But the message of salvation is the cross. And this is the message of the cross. So first, you've got to see where you are, who you really are, and then you've got to say, help me, Jesus. And He's right there to help you. You know what He's right there to do? To completely demolish this castle, destroy the gods of pride, destroy this. And one of the things that He uses to destroy it, and I can see Him using it the whole time, is the blood. The blood is so powerful because it destroys pride. And it destroys self-justification, self-righteousness in one shot. If you trust in the blood for your righteousness, then there's no place to trust in self-righteousness. And when you're trusting in the blood, you're not criticizing other people because you realize you're so unholy without the blood. You really realize your true state, and it's not a good one. But when you've got this deception of this lovely castle and everything's hunky-dory, look at this, Jesus, what I built you. And then he says, let me tell you what you built me. I'm not going to live in that castle. I'm coming to destroy it if you want me to. But he is not going to live in your castle. Because you're the king of that castle. And the dirty rascal. That's the game we've been playing our lives. I'm the king of the castle. And everyone else is the dirty rascal. Isn't that interesting? And that's how we all are. I'm right, and everyone else is wrong. But then God's got a way to deal with you. It's called judgment. God judges his people. God chastises his people. How does God chastise us? Well, if you're continually living in sin, practicing sin, like you go and practice on the golf course and you practice and you hit those 500 balls, practicing sin means you do it habitually and you continue doing it without repentance. And you're just saying, I'm just going to continue to hit these balls. I'm just going to continue to lie. I'm going to continue to do this. When you practice sin, God brings judgment on you, chastises. Go and read Hebrews 12. And he smacks you. Because you won't listen to his words, he will use his hands. How is he going to chastise you? Many different ways. One of them is your finances, another one is with your health. And if he does both, you've got real trouble. There's no sickness in heaven. Do you understand that? But if God removes his hand from you, there's more than enough demons willing to kill you. But God won't let them kill you. Unless, of course, you've gone right past the line. And there's a time when God will allow demons to kill you. But that's severe judgment. So we're not talking about that. It's in the Bible, in the New Testament. When you get handed over to the devil. So that your soul will be your body will be destroyed so that your soul will be saved. Okay? We're talking about a person that now, let's say you're in church, you start to live in adultery. And the pastor, this is what should happen in church, but it doesn't happen in church today, in most churches. But the pastor comes in and says, listen, I see you living in sin, which happens now in most churches. People just sleep around. With the pastor's knowledge of it. So you're sleeping around it with someone. Okay? You better stop this. If you're going to carry on following the Lord. Then the person continues. Then you bring it before the elders. Then you bring it before the church. How's that one? Have you ever done that? Have you ever seen a church do that? No, they're scared they're going to get sued. And they're going to lose members, and the donut club will close. Okay? So what happens is they don't bring discipline in the church. They allow it. Okay? Back in the day, what would have happened to you is they would have handed you over to the destruction of your flesh. So that you get some major affliction on you. You get like sick, really sick. You're going to die. You're going to either repent or you're going to die. But on the way to dying, you're going to repent. It's happened to many people. People repent when they get like long-term sickness like cancer. They start to repent. Because they start thinking of eternity. I'm not talking about just a sudden accident. There's no chance to repent. Bang. But if a person has got long-term illness, they need to be repenting. Because it's a sickness that's going to bring them down. I'm not saying everyone that's got cancer is being judged. But what I'm saying is, the Lord can allow it. All he has to do is just take his hand off, and those demons will be too happy to put any sickness on you. Watch what happened with Job. Who put the sickness on Job? Was it God or the devil? The devil. But Job could not be touched by the devil because he had a hedge around him, and he said, remove the hedge. Remove the hedge, killed his children. His wife says, curse God and die. How's that for a nice one? Next thing is, he didn't curse God. He didn't curse God. He says, you know what? Satan comes to God again. If I touch his body, I'll curse you. That's the Job test. You don't want to go through the Job test. Curse. If I can put sickness on him, he'll curse you. That was the test. Job was going to test. Okay, put sickness on. God just says, okay. Boom, sick. Instantly. Boils, whatever. I don't know what the heck he had there. He was in a lot of pain, complaining and blaming God. Job. Until he saw God. And then he started repenting later. But anyway, he was complaining and moaning. Then he had the Job's comforters saying, yeah, you must be in sin. Meanwhile, they were all in sin as well. But anyway, so the bottom line was, he never cursed God. And we're not Job. So we don't have to all go through a Job test. But when it comes to chastisement, God can use your finances. Oh my goodness, he uses finances. He starts shutting your finances down, and guess what? You start blaming the devil. That's the oldest trick in the book. You know what I did? One day I was binding the devil because we were basically going to go bankrupt in our business. We were big on binding the devil. Big on tithing and big on binding the devil. That's what we were taught. 101. Binding the devil, tithing. Binding the devil, tithing. Going down, down. Millions of rands. I mean, we had 12 million rand in debt. 5 million rand loss. Binding the devil. This is not working. So I started a fast, and God said, repent. And he gave me the book of Haggai, and Joel threw the book at me, and we repent. But one of the things, I was binding the devil one day, he said to me, you cannot bind me.
God said that.
Yeah. Can't bind me. Oh. Well, I wasn't trying to bind God. I was trying to bind the devil. But then God took it personally. He says, I resist the proud. And if you're proud, I resist you. Can you imagine when God's resisting you? How dangerous that is. What chance do you have? When the more you're pushing up, the more God's pushing down. And the harder you push, he'll push you right through the floor. Because he loves you so much. So he's pushing the hell out of you. But you're fighting. You think it's the devil. No, it's not the devil. It's God. God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So what's your solution here? Humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, and he will lift you up. Into where? Into your position. But if you're full of pride, God's going to break you. I've been broken. And I've been contrited. It's called crushed. I can tell you broken's better. So either you fall on the rock today and be broken, or the rock's going to fall on you and crush you to powder. Talcum powder. I've had both. So I can warn you. Rather let it break you than you get crushed. You don't want to be crushed by God. But he crushes you because he has a crush on you and he loves you. And one day when you repent, you'll say, thank you for crushing me. So I can say, thank you for crushing me. Thank you for breaking me. Thank you for slapping me. Thank you for every time you chastise me. Unfortunately, this is not taught in the church either. This is not popular teaching until now. But it's all in the New Testament too. It's not just Old Testament. God loves you dearly. But he loves you so much that he won't leave you the way you are. And he's not here. He's after your character improvement, not your comfort. God is not committed to your comfort. He's committed to your character. He wants your character to grow. And that's why he puts you through the fire. And that's why he purges you. And that's why he takes you through all these trials and tribulations. And what is going on here? Why do we have to go through all these trials? Yes, and the devil's involved. But there comes to a place where God is the one that has allowed the enemy to harass you because of his purposes. Like Paul came to the Lord 3 times. Lord, let this thorn depart from me. And the thorn he was talking about was all the persecution, all the hell he was facing, and he was getting shipwrecked. None of us can compare to Paul, what he went through. Beaten 39 times, 5 times, 39 stripes. It's incomprehensible what Jesus went through. 39 stripes, Paul had it 5 times. Think of that. Did you see the cry? The what's that name? The movie? The Passion? The whipping? Jesus, Paul had that 5 times. I can imagine he said, can you help me out here, let this thorn, depart from me. And the Lord, what did the Lord say? My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. And then Paul says, I will boast in my weaknesses. I will boast in my infirmities. He says, I will take pleasure in my weaknesses. I will take pleasure in my trials. Did you ever hear that preached? No. That's the truth. We just hear the candy floss gospel. We don't hear those scriptures. But that's real. That's the only thing that got me through, is knowing those scriptures, because God always takes me to scriptures no one preaches. It's like, read this one. Oh, okay. And so, because He wants to get me set free from this thing, I didn't realize what a mess I was in. I thought I was growing in grace. Becoming more critical of others. Becoming the sheriff of the church. No, I thought I was the sheriff of the church. And one day He said to me, don't slap my bride. Oh. It's like walking into the hospital. Jesus' bride's there. Walk up and say, ah, you ugly thing. Bang! It's like, that is my bride. You don't slap her. You pray for her. You love her like I do. That was many years ago. So I stopped criticizing the church. I had to pray for the church, start loving the church. Warts and all. Even though she's in bed, sick, dirty, defiled, the bride of Christ is not in a good shape right now. But it's not my job to point out all her mistakes. My job is to pray for her and to encourage her and to help her to grow. And that's your job. So I fell into this. Well, I was born in this. I mean, I had this all my whole life. But I went to Bible school. And actually, the Bible school actually improved this castle. Gave me more. It gave me more of the self-righteousness and self-justification, because now I had more knowledge. Knowledge puffs up, love edifies. I got a lot of knowledge, a little bit of love, and my head grew bigger. And I used to use my sword to try and tell Christians what's wrong in their life. And I says, no, you've got to use the sword on the demons. Get the demons off. Boom. That sword is very sharp. The sword I'm using now is very sharp. Very sharp. What the scriptures I've given you now is like, can ruin your life. The life as a Christian life that we have in our little world. But the truth comes to set you free. If you love the truth, it'll set you free. If you don't love the truth will be your worst enemy. Because the truth is light, and if you like the darkness more than the light is your enemy. Even though you're a Christian, you will fight the light. When you're fighting the light, you're fighting Jesus. Jesus is the light. Jesus is the light. So